there BookTube, it's Janet, and today I'm going to do my Book Buddy-a-thon wrap-up. As you know, I've been co-hosting the Book Buddy-a-thon with Eleanor from Eleanor Reads Books, and I've absolutely loved taking part in it. I haven't been able to complete my 5 books, which I'm absolutely gutted about. It just so happened that the Book Buddy-a-thon coincided with a week that work went mad. And I wasn't getting in from work until 7 o'clock every night, and I was absolutely shattered. But I feel like I've done relatively well, so I'll let you know where I'm up to and what I've been doing. So as it's part of Shelf Slam, my free choice, so there's one of the challenges was to read a book just because. So I thought, well, I'll use that as part of my Shelf Slam and I'll ask people what to read. So I thought, well, I'll do that as an audiobook because I can do that while I'm driving round. And the book that was selected was To the Lighthouse by Virginia Woolf, read by Nicole Kidman. And I DNF'd it. I don't think Virginia Woolf is for me. I do agree the writing is beautiful, and even Nicole Kidman, though she couldn't save it for me, nothing happens. It's just like pages and pages and pages of description, and yeah, I couldn't get on with it. I got about a third of the way through, but no, I just found that as it was going on and on, my mind was drifting elsewhere. I wasn't really engaged with it, so yeah, that didn't do it for me. So thanks very much for picking that one. The next challenge was to give your buddy 3 books and for them to choose one for you to read. So Eleanor kindly picked for me Lily and the Octopus by Stephen Rowley, if you can see that there. I have read this and I finished it. I've given it 4 stars, and it's a novel, but it's very much based on the author's real life experience of life with his dog Lily. And unfortunately, Lily the dachshund develops a tumour on her head, which the author says looks like an octopus. And there are quite a few elements of magical realism in it, where the octopus talks to the author and Lily talks to the author. Now, I completely understand that because I have more meaningful conversations with my cats than I do with my family. So I completely get that bit. But there is quite a big section in the book where it just goes completely off into magical realism land that I just didn't get along with because it just didn't fit in with the rest of the book. Obviously, the inevitable is going to happen in this book, and I cried buckets even though I knew it was coming. I really did. I actually finished it yesterday afternoon. There was no one else in the house, so Nigel, my cat, she got an absolutely long squeeze, and I love because it really did break my heart. But there are funny moments in it as well. There are quite a lot of themes about relationships and love and grabbing life and getting on with it, so I do recommend it. It was a good read. Wasn't too keen on the magical realism. If you ever need to have a really good cry, then I do recommend Lily and the Octopus, so it was a good read. One of the other challenges was to read a book with your buddy's favourite colour on the cover, and Eleanor's favourite colour is purple, so I read A Reunion of Ghosts, and this is by Judith Clare Mitchell. Now, I'd had this on my shelves for quite a while. I'd picked it up while I was browsing in Waterstones, and I liked the sound of it, and then I put it on the shelf and I forgot about it. So as I was looking for purple books, I got this one, and I'm so glad I picked it up. I don't know why. I've not seen too much about this book on BookTube, but I absolutely loved it. It's a 4.5 stars for me. It's a family saga, but it's all quite, it's darkly funny. It follows the story, and you get a little bit confused at the beginning about who's narrating the story, but it's 3 sisters who are writing the memoir, which becomes the suicide note. So once you get your head around the narrator could be any of the 3, you kind of get into it. And what is unusual about their family is that they have had 6 different people within that family commit suicide, and all in different ways. And you find this out at the very beginning. In fact, there's an actual chart at the front with the family members who've killed themselves, when they kill themselves and how they kill themselves, and they all do it in quite imaginative ways. I found out that defenestration means throwing yourself out of a window, so I did learn things. And basically they believe that the family is cursed because if you go back 4 generations, the great, I think, grandfather was a chemist, and he was a Nobel Prize winning chemist who discovered how to make fertilizers, nitrogenous fertilizers, which ultimately now have led to pollution. But also from that, he was the first discoverer of ecstasy, but also his research and led to the development of Zyklon B. And the irony is that he's Jewish and the family are Jewish. So they believe that the family are now cursed. So it follows the 3 sisters, and you get sort of like, it's almost like a who do you think you are kind of, you go back in time and you find out all about the family and the history. And it is tragic, but there's so many funny moments in it. I love the way that Judith Clare Mitchell has wrote very real characters. There's no soppiness, there's no sappiness, there's no, it's not saccharine sweet, it's real life, and out of crap comes humour, and so I thoroughly recommend it. What I did find really interesting was if you go to the back and read the author's notes, it actually is based on real people. The real person who invented Zyklon B, she has followed the thread of the life and the descendants' lives quite, it's quite incredible actually. They do say truth is stranger than fiction, so there are a lot of elements of this story that are based on real events, so it's absolutely fascinating. I absolutely loved it. I thoroughly recommend it. And the next one was to read a book with your book buddy, and Eleanor and I chose Sufficient Grace by Amy Esposeth. Eleanor has finished this and she didn't like it that much. I've got about 100 pages to go. It's been one that I've been slowly ploughing through. It isn't sort of the kind of book I would normally read. Again, it's very literary fiction in that not an awful lot happens, and a lot happens kind of off stage. I am feeling quite frustrated with the characters because it's based around this religious community and that blind, unquestioning following of rules, which for me just doesn't sit well. It's not the way I live my life, and it's not the way I was brought up, it's not the way I was educated, so I find it quite frustrating that nobody is saying what the hell's going on here. Some of the events in it are quite disturbing. There's an awful lot of hunting and animal preparation and killing, and it does go into quite graphic detail of that, which I really do not like reading about. I am going to finish it off, but it's one of those books that I've read little bits of here and there as I've read the other books as I've gone along, so we'll see where it goes. Hopefully I'll get this finished and I'll let you know when I've finished it. And then the final challenge was to read a book that starts with your book buddy's initial, and so Eleanor starts with E, and I did choose Eleanor and Park, which has got an E in it, and it is also called Eleanor by Rainbow Rowell. I haven't managed to start this one yet, but I will be doing. I'm determined to finish the book buddy-a-thon. I'm like one of those people that runs the London Marathon, or walks it, and comes in 3 days after everybody else has finished, so that's going to be me, I think. But I will do this one next, so I will finish all my reads, but unfortunately I just did not get time this week to do it in the book buddy-a-thon sort of week. And so that's what I read. I loved connecting with everybody and reading around the world. And as you know, we had an Instagram competition, myself and Eleanor, where you could win £15 worth of books from the Book Depository by posting your Instagram picture of your TBR and where you're going to read your books. And my winner is, her handle is NerdyMummyNL, and her name is Joni de Vries Verbrugge. So I'll be getting in touch with you, and thank you very much for taking part. I've loved hosting Book Buddy-a-thon, and we will be doing it again later in the year. So keep reading, everyone. I will see you all soon. Bye!